Alien is directed by Ridley Scott, and it has an incredible cast with names like Tom Skerritt, John Hurt, Sigourney Weaver, Veronica Cartwright, Yaphet Kotto, Ian Holm, and Harry Dean Stanton. Welcome to my Alien series leading up to one of my most anticipated films this year, Alien Covenant. I will be going through each and every film in the Alien series, not including Alien vs. Predator, and I will be giving my thoughts and opinions on all of them. But in order to do that, we have to start where it all began in 1979 with one of my favorite films of all time, Alien. This movie tells the story of a crew who receive a distress signal on a barren planet, LV-426. It is on this planet that this crew discovers an alien life form that may or may not be trying to kill everyone on board. I vividly remember watching Alien for the first time. I think I was a preteen when I first saw it, like 11 or 12. And I loved this movie. I very clearly remember those iconic scenes like the chestburster scene or the face hugger. And this movie stuck with me till today because, like I said, Alien is one of my favorite all-time films. There's obviously a lot of reasons why this movie is one of my favorite. There's a lot of reasons why this film is so iconic and so memorable. And one of the contributing reasons that makes this film so good is H.R. Giger's immaculate designs of the Xenomorph. Giger's designs of this creature seamlessly blend this raw terror and this beauty. I don't know why, but the Xenomorph character always had this beauty to it and this kind of sense of femininity. I don't know if that was intentional or it's just me getting that vibe from this creature. It always has that female kind of power to it. And the Alien series would not even be close to being as cool as it is without this creature, the Xenomorph. It is so scary. And the scene that tells you how creepy this character is when Ash is talking to the other members of the team and is saying, this creature's perfect. It has evolved to be the perfect killing machine. And yeah, when you cut it, it bleeds acid. It has that little tiny mouth that just like comes out of its big mouth. The Xenomorph creature currently holds what is in my book the best jump scare of all time when Dallas is in the air duct and he turns around and that creature makes that horrible noise. Oh my god, it gets me every single time I watch this movie. But the Xenomorph isn't the only thing in this film that has a gorgeous design to it. The set design is immaculate. If you watch recent science fiction films like Passengers, for example, the ship in that film feels very clean and it feels very unused, whereas the Nostromo in this movie feels very lived in because that ship is essentially a space tugboat and you really get that gritty, grimy vibe to it. There are only a few areas of the ship that actually have this glossy sci-fi look, and that would be, of course, the pods where they sleep, and also where Dallas talks to Mother. Everywhere else in this ship is grimy and mostly poorly lit, and it just has this eerie, creepy vibe to it. Even the spacesuits have this really dirty look to them, because if you watch, I don't know if it was an intentional thing, but Ripley's suit that she wears at the end of the film is like pure white, and the other suits prior to this are almost have this yellow tint to them. And of course I wouldn't do Alien justice if I was talking about special effects to not talk about the chestburster scene. Apparently the actors in the scene didn't really know what was going to happen to Kane. They just knew something was going to happen, and so you see that raw sense of fear on their face when that chestburster comes out of this man's sternum. I very clearly remember watching this scene and being just like, oh my god! Also, the cast and the characters that they portray are all uniformly excellent. And obviously, when most people think of this film and this series, they think of Sigourney Weaver's character Ripley. But when you rewatch this 1979 film, it's actually what's very fascinating about this movie is Ripley is never really portrayed throughout the film as the main character. She's really just part of the crew, and something I thought was really brilliant for them to do is establish how intelligent she is and how she's a survivor. Because when they're wanting to get Kane back on the ship because he has the face hugger attached to his helmet, she's like, we can't do that because that risks us getting intimidated ourselves. But speaking of which, rest in peace John Hurt. He doesn't get to do that much in this film, but he personally was one of my favorite character actors living, and he will be deeply missed. He was such a talented actor. But as much as I do love Alien, and it still is one of my favorite films of all time, I do have a few problems with it. And coincidentally enough, both of the problems that I have with this film center around the character of Ash. There's a part in this film where they're trying to find the Xenomorph creature that is running about on the ship, and and Ash is just like, oh hey, I happen to whip up this tracking device that we can use to find it. It felt very convenient to me, and it made me think like, that would have been great to have when you were walking around LV-426 trying to see if there are any life forms on this planet, to have a tracking device, and it just didn't feel right. And the other problem that I had with this film is there's a scene with Ash where he gets his head knocked off, and Ripley is trying to set it up so they can talk to him and they can ask why they were brought on this planet in the first place. And it is just really horribly edited. You can very clearly see when they use the real head and when they actually use the fake head. But other than that, this movie is pretty much perfect. Alien is such an incredible, confined thriller that is just as scary as it is entertaining. Everything from Ridley Scott's brilliant directing, to the characters, to the performances, to the special effects, is why Alien remains one of my favorite films that still holds up incredibly well nearly 40 years later. So do you guys love Alien as much as I do? Leave your thoughts and opinions down below. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you liked today's video, and if you did, click on the link down below and subscribe to my channel for more movie reviews and related things. Again, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.